Hi everyone, so I wanted to hop on and talk about reparenting yourself. Now you may have heard this in psychotherapy as inner child work, working with your parts, working with your shadow, working with vulnerable parts of yourself. There's different names for it and different ways of working with yourself to reparent yourself. It's really important to look at the parts of us that we have suppressed and pushed away growing up to protect ourselves, to stay connected to our caregivers, and to conform to our social group and the culture that we grow up in. And the reason being is when we suppress our parts that balance us out, it is then coming out in relationship challenges, health symptoms, addiction, many different ways that we express it without actually going into why am I behaving the way I'm behaving, or why do I find it hard to feel my emotions and be vulnerable? Why do I judge people who do that and see them as needy or weak? Why do I find it hard to take risks? Why do I find it hard to leave a job that I don't like or a relationship that I don't like? And once we start to discover, actually, there's something deeper in this. There's something deep here where as a child, I wasn't taught how to explore and step out of my comfort zone and then regulate myself in the process. So what can happen is as I'm exploring, it becomes so overwhelming to my nervous system. I become so anxious and stressed that I just don't want to explore at all. And that manifests as an adult as staying stuck in relationships, staying stuck in careers that we don't like, not actually knowing who am I, what do I love doing, what would I be really good at if I was to step into my strengths and my potential? What sort of work would I love to do? So we get so fearful that we don't even look at that because we sort of are stuck in this, no, it's too scary. Another way to look at this is we can explore and be so independent and so good at building something, taking risks, and also maybe like creating a business of wealth and becoming a CEO, that we forget the part of us that is vulnerable, that feels powerless, because we created this external world that makes us feel externally powerful, but internally we haven't actually explored our emotions. So what we can do there is we're sort of numbing out or ignoring when things are emotional by being a workaholic or by being an adrenaline junkie. So we sort of go external and create this world that helps us not feel our emotions. So it's kind of like you can either look at it as attachment styles. So anxiously attached, where it's scary to go out and to be alone and not to be in partnership or not to explore. And you can then look at it as avoidantly attached, where it's I'm good on my own, I don't need anyone, and I don't need to feel my feelings. I think that's weak. And neediness, I don't like people who are needy. So you could kind of even looking at it on the two extremes as well. There's a scale there too. It's so important for us to take a homeopathic dose, so a small dose of each one. So if you find yourself to the point where you're so independent and you just don't like other people, or you think people are emotional or like weak or something like that, it's really good to use that judgment to be like, what if I took a homeopathic dose of that? What would that mean? And you could look at that either avoidantly or anxiously, like you could look at both sides. When we start to integrate and embody qualities that we've pushed away, this is when we feel content, we feel more balanced and healthy in life. There's less of the stress response, because someone that is successful, working really hard, workaholic, looks really successful on the outside, internally could be working on fight flight. So it could be on the nervous system, on the autonomic nervous system, They could be in the fight-flight section, and then they could find themselves going down to dorsal, which is shut down, freeze, or freeze first and shut down, because they've worked so hard. They're working hard, and then they can go into depressive states and then come back and work hard. So it's used as a coping mechanism to try to soothe themselves, which they may get, but then it's like never ending, right? Can't sit still, have to keep going, have to make more money. And so that's what's actually really happening on the inside. And for someone who is more anxiously attached and can't leave maybe a job or relationship because they're too fearful of going out, it's like a short-term sort of relief. So what will happen is there will be moments when they will feel this, they will feel quite stressed and anxious. So also in flight, and be in that space most of the time until they get some connection, and then they'll go back into that space when there's disconnection. And so it can be quite hard for them to build their emotional resiliency, because they are getting a hit all the time. If I don't leave my relationship that maybe I've been in for years, or I've been in a relationship since I was young. This was me growing up. I was in one relationship after the other. I wasn't used to being on my own. That I'm going to find it really difficult to be on my own, and I'm going to be dysregulated unless I take the leap, try something new, and widen my window of tolerance and my emotional resiliency to be able to self-regulate. So that's going into a bit of depth in there. I just wanted to express this because I think it's so important for every single adult to reparent themselves so we can show up connected and better humans for our children and for other people around us who we're relating to, where we're more connected with them also, and empathetic, because we're doing that for ourselves. We're caring and being empathetic for ourselves. Have an awesome day.